Where Do I Sit is a short documentary about a Makespace and Tamba Africa social circus collaboration. It shows rehearsals in Zimbabwe and a workshop with teenagers at Deaf Zimbabwe Trust, interviews to camera, and show footage in the Windy Van Houten Big Top Circus tent at Shambhala Festival. Interviews are cut with performance, rehearsal, and workshop extracts. It features Karina Jones, a white visually impaired middle-aged woman with a slim build and sleek blonde hair. Tanya Ngundu, a black female in her mid-20s. She is curvaceous and short and has braids in her hair. Dione Manjoro, a black pear-shaped deaf woman with black shoulder-length dreadlocks in her early 20s. She is voiced by Tinotenda Magwenzi. Amy Nicholls, a short white slim woman in her late 20s. She has dirty blonde hair and a smiling face. Caroline Parker, a white woman with dyed red hair using sign language. Barnes Munn, the rigger, a 6-foot white man with a shaved head and earrings. Tanya.
Where do I sit means collaboration, breaking barriers, included. I don't even want to say the word included. It sounds like we didn't have a right.
We want to make a show that is full of joy and empowerment. We've all got shit to say, man.
We want the process of it to be as valuable as the show is.
It's a living proof of the possibilities within the disabled community.
Where Do I Sit? By Tamba Africa and Make Space.
It's a special system we have. It's called a place for everything and everything else on top.
A suitcase of rigging.
We wanted to work with Tamba Africa in Zimbabwe.
Amy.
We have a lot of the same values as Tamba, and we're trying to work with disabled artists and also people from marginalised backgrounds to amplify their voices and put people on stage that should be on stage and that we don't see enough of.
I'm flying, hurrah.
Tanya flies through the air in a harness.
We just wanted to hand it over to you with the pens and the papers. Have a look at what you think the barriers that you're going through.
Amy.
We ran the barriers exercise talking about the different barriers that we've experienced personally on the first day of rehearsal, and people were so generous with their answers and really, really honest.
The fellow deaf people, when they see someone rising, they start feeling jealous and start gossiping and spreading bad news. My name is Dione Manjoro, and that's my surname. And I am deaf. I started liking dancing when I was still a kid. It's passion, I just love it and I enjoy it. It makes me happy. I think this project will help me because other people who are disabled will be able to see, and see disability does not mean inability.
Dione African dances in a studio and makes a heart with her hands. Performers sit on the floor writing.
Second one is downright rude or annoying people, and I put an angry face next to it. I don't like having to sort of validate myself.
Tanya.
I think the barriers that are set in the industry are mostly to do with accessibility and a lack of awareness regarding different needs of persons with disabilities, things like audio descriptions, the need for sign language interpreters, and as a result you have less persons with disabilities participating within the art industry because they just don't have, that opening space in the form of accessibility.
Dione reacts to Amy's phone screen. Shot of writing and ideas on the wall. Barnes is sat rigging a chair.
Bit of armchair rigging. How comfortably you can fly with the chair.
The chair turns upside down with Barnes still sat in it. He runs away with the chair still attached to his bum. Performers standing with their backs in a circle swaying. Karina.
It's vital to have key access tools such as audio description and BSL in the show, because if shows are funded publicly and they're inclusive and for everybody, then I think they need to be for everybody. We spoke to the people today and they don't have audio description. Through the unlimited funding, we're getting to take something which is so valuable. It feels like a real skill share.
Rehearsals.
I'd like to do an experiment. If we go in pairs and describe each other.
Tanya describes Barnes.
They're like smiley wrinkles on the eyes, which is cool.
This is amazingly difficult. Well, I'm not surprised the poet was better at it.
Karina.
Oh, Tanya's just doing this amazing work where she's taking the basic audio description and she's magically making it into something beautiful, and audio description as poetry.
Big Top.
With a regal blonde waterfall of hair flowing out of her bright mind.
Tanya.
I think it's important for anyone who's making an accessible production to understand things like audio descriptions and sign language, because that is the only way that can truly make it accessible. It's all about really having people with different disabilities involved in the production stage so that each one can truly voice out their needs.
Karina.
It's a skill like anything else, and I think bringing in disabled performers automatically is helpful and makes a show more accessible because we can represent ourselves on stage.
The Windy Van Houten sign at Shambhala Festival.
This is my first UK festival. This is my first time in the UK, and I think I just got the glamorous end of the stick.
The inside of the empty Big Top. Performers in outrageous sparkly costumes.
This is the first time some of the artists have performed in such a big space to such big audiences, and it's also the first time that we've made a show collaboratively.
Amy rotates in an aerial sling, and Karina in a hoop.
One of the key takeaways for me for the industry and like going forward into other projects from this is how much we have to learn from other cultures' approaches to access. We did a whole bunch of work in communities. I think the takeaway for the industry for me is how much we have to gain from collaborating internationally.
I think it's important for people who are making a show accessible to understand audio description and signing so that they can produce something which is fit for purpose, really.
Tanya.
If you want to support this part of the industry, if we can all just spread as much awareness and be open-minded, it's all right to not know something, but it's not a right to be prejudiced.
Amy.
I've learned how important it is to include disabled artists in the making process, and I think that should be a takeaway for the industry as well.
Performers sign clap on stage. Where do I sit? An Unlimited International Partner Award 2023 commission, made possible thanks to funding from British Council. Unlimited, British Council and Arts Council England logos.